Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you had a good weekend. Calm down, lady. Well, it's a story that rocked the globe like a giant rock hitting a globe. Or in this case, two globes. And as usual, we're the only show that's covering this. Yes, it's day 18 of...
If it happens up there, we report down here. You're watching Gazumbagate, Canada 2023, Week 3.
Yep, it's week 3. As you know, we've been on top of this story like Biden's nose on a Girl Scout's freshly shampooed scalp. It's the story of the shop class teacher who's wearing super jumbo, never existed in reality prosthetic breasts to class. It's great. In the unlikely event of a water emergency landing, your shop teacher can be used as a flotation device. But the story isn't so much about the monstrous melons, but the school's reaction. They're still attempting to normalize a situation that is anything but normal. Here's a recap. According to the Toronto Sun, she, once a he, began identifying as female last year and started wearing massive prosthetic breasts to class. But apparently only recently, kids in the school started posting about her. The school is standing by her, saying, of course, what's really at issue is her gender rights. Is it all a long troll, or was it just a mistake converting bra size from inches to metric? One thing's for sure, if there's a shop class that requires protective goggles, this is it. Now, there have been angry protests, upset parents, and aroused and confused babies. And, of course, the usual woke school board that will defend anything if it fits their twisted view of the world, including those two mother-of-all coconuts under his or her sweater. But what's missing is the teacher's words. According to the Toronto Sun, a paper cat, the teacher still shows up to class every day. Yet I can't find a single interview with this person. Maybe it's too difficult to get the mic within reaching distance of her face. But it's more evidence to me that this might be one big chain yanker. The school and the board, though, are still sticking with mindless blather that they support gender rights, even if they look as foolish as a woman doing push-ups.
A sexist would say.
Just making sure. But it's like that old fable, the emperor with no clothes, except here, it's a shop teacher with chesticles so big, if they were states, they'd be worth 98 electoral votes. The school's game plan is to hope this scandal simply deflates and soon we'll all move on to something else. But I'm not. As a child, I was bottle-fed, so I'm extra intrigued about this. Story's too big, it's too robust, too ample, and voluptuous to ignore. I just want to bury my face in it. I'm gonna milk it for all it's worth. Sorry. Yeah. Fact is, obviously, a person can do whatever they want with their appearance. You know, even if it frightens small children. Even if it confuses barbers. But still, you gotta factor in time and place and age appropriateness. We put guardrails on everything. Sure, dress like a Macy's parade float, but on your own time. Not at school where there's kids. Because if you're okay with this, then why can't another teacher show up with a giant inflatable penis? And I don't mean Brian Kilmeade. But, yeah, it's true, he's not inflatable. But how is that also not an exercise in gender rights? It's the same thing. So I return to the essential question. Is this real or not? Here's another recap. An anonymous post from a message board, which is where I get all my facts, claims this person isn't transitioning, but trolling. It reads in part, this dude is gaming the system. This teacher was almost fired for toxic masculinity last year, as well as not embracing woke culture. He dropped red pills to his class, such as how silly gender-neutral bathrooms are. The school board hates him. Now he's upping the ante to exploit the very clown world the school and society itself created. Who knows? This teacher could be punking everyone. If so, I want this teacher to be my best friend. Maybe my next president. One thing's for sure, whatever ticket you throw him or her on, it's gonna tip over. But a prank like this exposes the profound uselessness of the educational system. This gag is a more accurate assessment than a standardized test. Fact is, the administration would rather judge people who have an issue with the teacher than actually manage the teacher herself. If you're concerned, well, then you must be the problem. And the school implies that by creating a safety plan for the teacher, which should start by installing a safety guard on that table saw. Honestly, I can hardly watch the deli guy slice my turkey breast. The last thing I want to see is this idiot accidentally slicing off his acrylic areolas. And they are acrylic. But according to The Sun, emails were sent to parents telling them that police will ensure students behave when they protest. Yes, because they might riot over big fake. Yeah. What do we want? Real. When do we want them? Now. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Your fake boobs have got to go. See, I don't see anybody doing that. But it's so surreal. This story keeps going on, reflecting a sad fact that common sense can no longer diffuse absurd situations. No one can stop it. Hell, a Supreme Court justice nominee can't define a woman. Maybe they should show her a picture of the shop teacher. But that's where we are. Educators can't even admit when they're being played by an impractical joker or a mentally ill male with a distorted view of what a woman is. So rather than deal with the underlying truth, they just cowardly murmur, respect gender rights, hoping that will keep us pacified. They could just ask the teacher to knock it off, but unlike the teacher, they have no balls. Lastly, where are all the feminists? They can't all be trimming their mustaches at the same time.
Wow, yet another sexist would say.
I'm glad you caught that one. You would have been fired if you didn't. So how should a progressive woke woman take this story? It's no compliment that for a male adopting the trans female life, it's more about a costume that exaggerates one of the more superficial features of femininity. I mean, what if what constitutes a female is simply giant fake? Well, we don't think much of women then. It's all just dress up. If I were a biological woman, I would call it stolen valor. But really, it's more like stolen vag. Believe me, that's gonna stick. But the gender warriors never really have much to say on this stuff. They claim to be feminist until they find themselves up against men pretending to be women. They then suddenly lack testosterone. In the end, it doesn't matter if the teacher is sincere or silly. It's the response that tells the story. And it's as sad as it is hilarious. And you could bet that I'm glad that I got that off my chest. And yes, ladies, it's real. Let's welcome tonight's guest. This psychologist specializes in driving leftists crazy. Professor and host of the Sad Truth podcast, Gad Sad. She's so bubbly, she'll give you hiccups. Outnumbered co-host Emily Campagno. His comedy shows are like a liquor cabinet, wooden and full of booze. Writer and comedian Joe DeVito. And for Halloween, she plans on going as someone pleasant. Fox News contributor Kat Tim. Gad, welcome to the show. I've been looking forward to this for many years. We've talked about this. Now you're finally allowed back in the country.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting the Canadian professor and then ribbing on Canada.
Yes, yes. I was going to do all segments on Canada, but there's not enough news in Canada. You have one story, and then that's it. And then everybody goes to bed.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, in 2017, both Jordan Peterson and I had appeared in front of the Canadian Senate to precisely warn about these kinds of boundary conditions, these kinds of extreme situations. And everybody laughed at us, they scoffed, they mocked. Well, look what we have now.
So let me ask you, what is your gut feeling on this? Do you think that this is okay, it can only be two things. It's a long con, or it's somebody who's mentally ill. Because if it's actually trans, they wouldn't go for the giant boobs.
My first reaction was that it was real, but now that I'm hearing a greater number of people saying that it could be a troll, the reality is whether it's real or a troll, it shows that the zeitgeist is not doing too well these days. So
it shouldn't matter if it's true or false, because the response is the laughable part.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't know what they're... Instead, Emily, they're so scared of offending, I guess, a very select group of trans men with D breasts.
D to the infinite and...
Yes.
What I love so much is that we can't even put the full photo on air. We
Yes.
have to blur out part of her photo and that her mask is below her nose. And yet
That's how you know it's a troll. Who said that the other day?
Drew.
Drew said that, that the mask is below the nose. That's a sign it's a troll. Because wouldn't she put it above her nose?
Totally. Great detective sleuthing. So we have to blur it out on air, and yet this school system is subjecting the kids to that. Could you imagine, to your point, I would give anything for either a troll or a woman who identifies as a male to just roll up with a Hindenburg, just humongous cucumber every day sitting in front of the kids, and then have Canada be like, oh, that's right, and we were going to have police protecting that teacher instead of the kids.
Yeah, I wonder what would happen if a woman did come in and with a giant, like, I think the safe word would be cucumber, but a giant, you know, this is why I wasn't allowed to teach.
Dirigible.
Because I have a huge...
All right, we're good.
A huge love for cucumbers. I enjoy a good cucumber. It's cold and it's crunchy.
Oh, delicious.
Cold and crunchy. Slice it. You can do a cucumber sandwich with cream cheese, Joe.
Is this really the venue for this? Take us through this.
Speaking of, okay, how about this? This is the third time we're doing the show. We're doing it every week until we get to the bottom of this.
Yes.
No one else is doing this. Not Dateline, not 60 Minutes.
No.
Outnumbered.
No, and if I'll say this, if there were ever a legit use of the pronouns they, them,
Yes.
it would be this. Okay, so this is either a teenage boy's worst nightmare thinking, oh, have you seen the new shop teacher has giant boobs, and that's the old shop teacher. What happened here? Here's what I don't understand. Okay, in Canada, if you send $5 to a trucker, they've got that tracked. Yet we still don't know if this is real or not. We're seeing the same photo, the same video, like this is Bigfoot. A couple of blurry photos, a couple of plaster prints. Yeah, exactly. So if it's not a troll, this person needs to see either a psychologist or a chiropractor.
Yeah.
And if this is what this person thinks a woman is, that this costume, it's about as feminist a woman's costume as Norman Bates wore. It's really a shame that that's what you think a woman is, this cartoonish, ridiculous thing.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, Anthony Perkins was one sexy lady.
He wouldn't hurt a fly.
He wouldn't hurt a fly. Very interesting point, though, that the little guy over there says, Kat. But what if, you know, we sit here and we're talking about this. Will we then be blamed for making an unsafe environment for this teacher because we're curious, when in fact the unsafe environment is the people allowing maybe somebody with a serious mental problem?
I don't know, you might be. Yeah. We've had to talk about this so much, and I can't believe it, but I actually have had a new thought on it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, where if it is a troll, everyone says, oh, that's so awesome. If it's a troll, it really kind of sucks for this teacher. Because the idea was, okay, I'm gonna get fired, so what I'm gonna do is put these massive on, and then they're gonna fire me and I can sue for gender discrimination. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
The school is like, good for you.
Oh,
so it didn't work. So this teacher, every day, if it's a troll, looks at these giant is like, I can't believe I have to put these on again.
You know what?
It's gonna be...
You're right. This is a game of chicken.
This person's life? Yes. I mean, it must be exhausted.
No, but you're right. You know what this is? This is a game of chicken. The school is actually trolling the troll.
Right. If it's a troll, the school is out trolling the troll.
Yes, and this could go. This is amazing. It is like a Cold War, and you can tell because the nipples are really hard. All right. That's a great thing about breasts, is that there's so many directions you can go with the words. It's
amazing.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yes. I'm going to shut up now. But we're going to do this story every week until the midterms, at least.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.